So another nice thing about making your own bread at home is you end up with potential byproducts or other potential products that you can make. So I save all my butt ends of every single loaf. So I have quite a few here, and I actually have more in the freezer. So today I'm going to make homemade breadcrumbs because, one, my freezer's getting a little full with oddly shaped bread ends. So we're going to do some fried chicken tonight. Yum! So that's one thing I like to do with these. Another thing I like to do is bread pudding, which I'll probably show you another time. But right now, we're going to make breadcrumbs. And it's super, super easy. Totally worth it. I think last time we bought breadcrumbs, what was it, like $5 for one of those tubes? And you get maybe, I guess it depends on your family size, but I would probably get 3 good meals out of something like that. Come on now. These loaves of bread are less than $1 a piece when you make them at home. And you get breadcrumbs to do fried chicken or shake and bakes and all kind of good stuff with it. So I'm going to show you how to do it. It's really easy. Anyone could do it. So all I'm going to do is take my ends and cut them into cubes. Now, it doesn't really matter what size cubes you have. The thinner you make them, the quicker they'll dry out in the oven. And it is a little bit easier to crush them and get them all kind of a uniform size. So that way you've got a good crumb. So I do anywhere between maybe a ½ inch cube to a full inch cube. So I'll get all of these done and then we'll throw them in the oven. Now, one thing I do want to say is this is homemade bread. There is no preservatives in it. So if you're going to make breadcrumbs, make only enough for what you need at that time. Because otherwise, if you let it sit in the cupboard, it's just going to get moldy. The yeast is going to start growing stuff in there. And so if you don't want to throw any out, then just make enough for what you need. And then that way you've got leftovers to do for another meal. And you don't feel bad about throwing nothing in the garbage. Now, I have tried to put the crumbs back in the freezer, but when you thaw something out, it gets real moist. And then you just got to put it back in the oven again to dry it out. So I just make enough for what I need for that meal. And then I save the rest. Oh, the other thing I save are my twist ties. I save those too. Don't you like my hot pads? Aren't those cute? A customer made them for me. Thought it was kind of ironic. Alright, so I'm going to get all this cut up and then get it ready for the oven. So this here should be enough to do what I want to do for tonight. So I'm doing chicken thighs. So I've got it all cut up. I just have it in a glass dish. You could use a cookie sheet, a pie sheet, anything that works for you. Whatever you have, it'll do the job. So I put it in the oven. I have it preheated at 350 just because I don't have the patience to let it do this for an hour or so. And I've had good luck with it in the past. It doesn't burn. I just make sure that I come in and take a spoon to it and mix it up every 10 minutes or so. And in about half an hour, they all should be evenly dried out to where I can take them out and crush them. So then when I take this out of the oven, we will crush up our cubes and get some homemade breadcrumbs. So I have just pulled the breadcrumbs out of the oven, and they're all nice and crisp. They've got a nice golden brown color to them, if you could see that. And they're starting to cool down so I can grab them and touch them. But there they are. They're nice and toasty. No more soft ones. So it actually took about 40 minutes to get all of these nice and crisp. So now that they've cooled down a little bit, I'm going to stick them in a Ziploc bag, take my rolling pin, and crush them. So let's get that going. Okay, so I've got all my breadcrumbs in a bag. So I'm going to lay this on my cutting board and just slowly roll over it with my rolling pin. Now, they are sharp, so you are going to come to find that it's going to put holes in your bag. If anyone's got tips and tricks to keep that from happening, let me know, because I have not found a way to do this without getting some holes and getting a little bit on the floor. And I'll just work my way around and crush as much as I can before I readjust it. But I'm getting some air, so I'm going to let this air out and just keep turning and crushing. I'll turn it again and just keep smashing. You know, this is something really fun for the kids. If you got a heavy duty cutting board to do it on, just let them take this thing and whack at it. They'll really, really enjoy it. Anything, I think, to get the kids in the kitchen is a good thing. Couldn't do them no harm. So anyways, I'm going to finish crushing this up, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all crushed. So I'm all finished. Here's what I have left. And I will show you the cutting board. There's really not a whole lot on there. So the more gentle you are when it comes to rolling, which is kind of an oxymoron, but if you're in a hurry and you want to get done quick and start whacking on it, you're going to have a bigger mess. If you take your time and just kind of work that rolling pin back and forth, you get a little more for your money. And so they're pretty fine. You still get some bigger chunks, and I'm going to dump it in my glass pan that I had them in the oven with, and I'll show you what it looks like. So we've got them all crushed up, and this is what it looks like in the end. So there's still some bigger pieces, but I'm not too picky about it. And I'm sure some people will ask, why don't you just use a mortar and pestle? Well, because I don't have one yet. That's the key word. So what I really like about making homemade breadcrumbs, one, of course, I don't have to buy them. Two, I am not limited to just the simple flavors they have in the store. So I have my basket of seasonings, and I went through and I decided to go with chipotle and roasted garlic. So I'm going to sprinkle this in here and get it nice and all mixed up. And we'll have some rockin' fried chicken. Oh yeah. Now, let's hope I don't burn it this time in the cast iron. I've been practicing with the cast iron, and I'm really, really good at breakfast and grilled veggies. I'm still practicing when it comes to meats and grill, or especially fried. So, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, hope for the best. And then when we get dinner all finished, I will show you my pretty stuff. Let's hope it's pretty. Oh, she's frying now. I wish you could smell this, because it smells so good. Oh my gosh. I am drooling, and I can't wait till this is done. Oh my god, it's going to be so good. KFC ain't got nothing on me. So, it is finally done, and I am quite pleased. Isn't she pretty? Oh, well, it's dinner time. I'm going to eat. Just think about it. Homemade bread. You get lots of extras out of it.